Hello, Olu again, nuggets of wisdom. My topic today is very simple, very straightforward. The power of self-talk. Let's get it. Welcome back. Please like, share, hit the notification bell for new content. Please, my brother, do me a favor. Please smash that subscription button so you can be notified when there's new content. Secondly, likes are free. Hit that like button so we can share this content with other people on YouTube and around the world. Man, the power of self-talk. We're going to cook today a little bit because just doing this video was a self-talk exercise. Just doing many things happened, and there have been a couple of things that happened in the last week that has been the power of self-talk that has made me have a recourse. Let me give you a quick story time. Last, I think Wednesday or Thursday, I had this issue at work, and I was working with this. Everything was not going the way we're supposed to. I was in Airbnb in Austin. I had a horrible day. Stepped out of the house. I was supposed to meet somebody, and my tire was flat. So everything that could happen happened, and it was like, and also I was just so angry for the week because there was an unnecessary thing that we just couldn't handle, but the person that I was dealing with just was just uncomfortable to deal with. So to cut a long story short, I woke up that following morning, looked at the mirror, and I had two options. I'm either going to go in there super angry and misfire, do things that are not actually professional, or I have to talk myself into give myself a positive self-talk so I can deal with the situation ahead. That's by the way. This morning, just today, when I went to burn this video as well as talking to you, I had some technical problem with my camera. So, and I got a little frustrated as well. But I thought that there is always some forces against you that doesn't want to actually, for you to accomplish your goal. And if it's going to be later, just do it, push through. That is the power of self-talk. Positive self-talk. I came across this article in Better Up. And one of the things talking about, there are things in life that allows you that sometimes the causes of that what we go through is something called rumination that allows you to actually play negative reactions in your life over and over and over again. I said this story before. I had some issue happen to me when I was 7. I won't even say it was an issue. It was an event of 7. I had a weekly report card from my elementary school. I was not failing, but I was in the first 10. Then when my uncles come, they would give my sister money. And that issue affected me into my 30s and 40s. And anytime I look back, I rewind that thing in my mind. I let it drive me. I let it only take over my life. And this was then, this is now. There was no correlation of what was happening. But by that being said, I let the negative self-talk rule my mind. So as a result, it kept on going on and on. That is why you got to have some positive self-talk. Self-talk is the difference between life and death. I believe so. I believe you acting and overreacting is there as a result of what kind of self-talk you're having with yourself. If you don't have these things, you are in trouble because there will be situations in life that you won't be able to deal with. So you have to understand, you have to realize that you have to have a positive self-talk about yourself. If you want to deal with the issues of life, if you want to deal with the problems of life, because every time stuff happens and stuff will happen and life happens, you cannot go into a negative side of the things every time things happen. You have to have the ability to self-talk yourself out of the craziness you're about to do. People who lose their cool, lose their mind. They've not just been losing it, they've been losing it over a period of time. Then it gets to a point, they snap. And once they snap, they do something opposite. And they'll say, oh, this guy was a gentle person. He never was angry, was even never confrontational. And those are people who maybe they shoot their spouse or they shoot somebody based on a single moment of insanity. And this was the lack of not being able to not learn how to keep on self-talking yourself out of situations over and over again. I'm going to actually read some very few things from this article that I came across. It's called Better Up. It was written by a lady, I think Shauna Waters, PhD, written about in 2021. And one of the things that I came across was very powerful. He said, positive self-talk is an effective stress reduction tool. From correcting the negative thoughts to coping during difficult times, positive self-talk changes lives. If you are struggling with negative thoughts and want to be kinder to yourself, we can help. But he's just telling as a therapist. But before we review how to have positive self-talk, let's consider what self-talk means and how to spot negative thinking. We will also look at some specific example of self-talk. So it goes on to say this, which we will always say, everything starts from you. Self-talk is your internal dialogue. It's the endless stream of unspoken thoughts that run through your head every day. If you are generally a positive person, your self-talk will be more positive. So in other words, if you're a negative person, most of your thoughts will be negative. So I'm saying this to say that a lot of people have had subconscious negative thoughts in their minds that has sat in their hard drives of their mind forever and ever. For you guys who know anything about computers, when you delete something from the computer, you are not deleting everything from the hard drive. A good forensic specialist can actually retrieve that message from the hard drive. So your negative thoughts, you may bury them in the hard drive of your mind. It does not necessarily mean he goes away. It just simply means you kept it in a safe corner for right now. Then eventually you can bring it up when there's something that triggers that self-talk. I can go on. I've had situations in my life that I thought repeating itself over and over again, and I had a decision to make. I'm not going to say this is your lot in life, or whatever it takes, I have to change this narrative about myself. So what I'm doing to you right now is switching my negative thought to my positive speaking, special self-talk, because that's what's going to happen. I can say just because something happens over and over again, and I'm telling you, they may even happen in different ways. People say, I hear people say things like this: if it happens more than twice, it's no longer a mistake, it's a pattern. Two things can be straight at the same time, but you don't know what you don't know. I've come to live this life with grace. It's something I would say myself 5-10 years ago. But as I'm going older, you can have two mistakes that have the same outcome but didn't start the same way. If that makes any sense. So what I'm trying to say to you, my brothers, is that we got to have positive self-talk. We cannot keep on talking ourselves down. I'm not good. Good things don't happen to me. All those negative self-talk, they are sending centers, they're sending some alert into your system that allows you to actually receive negative. You see people get angry with you and you can't even know the reason why. Negative self-talk. These are the things that will actually destroy you in many ways. Before we wrap up today, I want to give you 10 things. The benefits of a positive self-talk. Why is it necessary to have a positive self-talk? And when I was reading through this, most of them were more medical and mental than I can even realize. So I'm going to run through it very quickly. Number one, when you have benefits of the positive self-talk, number one, healthier immune system means that your body can fight diseases that you do not imagine can happen to you. When you have positive talk, you have built your immune system to fight against diseases that may come against your life if there was negative thoughts in you. Number two, you reduce pain. It doesn't mean you will not have pain. It means the pain is reduced because you now have better coping mechanisms to deal with your pain, which is positive self-talk. Thirdly, I need this to be true. Better cardiovascular health. 75% of the heart attacks are not just blood pressure. Are there some life issues that need to be dealt with? Absolutely. Some people are dealt with broken hearts. They've dealt with pain. They've dealt with distraught. They've been let down. So they let that get the better of them. It enters into their mind, enters into their spirit. So their body starts have receptors in their body who's now sending messages to their heart. And by the time you know, they're having a heart attack. And you can't even tell you why it's happening. Negative self-talk. Number four, improve mental health. Mentally, you are more alert because you receive positive things. Mentally, you can deal with things because you refuse to take negative self-talk into your mind. Number five, improve self-esteem. So that means if you have negative self-talk, you have low self-esteem. Low self-esteem means the world you see yourself at the bottom. You have a negative, you have an inferiority complex. Low self-esteem. Better positive speaking, self-talk to yourself will improve your self-esteem. Number six, increase vitality. You have a zest for life. You are fresh. You feel it. You understand it. When they see you and you see you're like the life of the party, life begins to come out to you. Things begin to change for you. You have improved vitality. Greater life, number seven, greater life satisfaction. That all together, all around you, you have better satisfaction of life. Okay, the things that are going wrong, it's going to get better. Yeah, I work on that. It's going to get better. Things are going to get the way they need to get. They're going to be things are going to change. Even if everything is not lined up the way you need it to line up. Number 8, according to this lady here, Miss Shannon Waters, reduce stress. I cannot tell you the amount of stress we are going through in this society. The stress of not having enough money at your retirement. The stress of the break of a relationship. The stress on your children. Then on top of that, the negative thought you thought about yourself. So add all that together, it all adds up. But when you start having a positive self-talk about yourself, this is number 8 stage, you reduce your stress. Number 9, better physical being. I have a little thing to say about that. Everybody will say, oh, go to the gym. All what you do, just lose weight, blah, blah, blah. When you are bogged down with negative self-talk, what normally happens is that your spirit is tired. Your whole being is tired. And you will see things in front of you, as happened to me, and I don't even want to move. I don't even want to do it because I'm so stressed. Yeah, then there's the well-being of me, so I won't be able to move into those things that I need to move into because of the level of negative self-talk I've spoken to myself, as well as other things, a couple of other things in my life, or scenarios, situations that happen, added to my stress. There's no way you have that. There's no way that your being, your physical being will be good. When you go to the doctors and they run all your numbers, blood pressure is going to be high, cholesterol is going to be high, diabetes is going to be high, the whole 9 yards. But when you have positive self-talk and better coping mechanisms, you will do well. Lastly, but not the least, increase lifestyle. increased lifespan. Increased lifespan. I can be here all night. I know, folks, over the period of time, you may think you're just having a fight with your spouse. You may think this argument, the negative thought, the word that has been spoken, the negative thought, that can come from you and can also come from somebody else. And by the time you take it, somebody else's negative talk becomes your own self-talk. And when that becomes your own self-talk, by the moment, you are dying by the moment. I'm going to finish with this. I remember years ago, there was an argument in the family. And somebody it's an elderly person there, and he wanted to actually intervene. He was diabetic. As the conversation went on, he got so stressed, he started going to the restroom every 5 minutes. And that showed that his sugar, his A1C shot up because he's stressed. And to cut long story short, over a period of time, that stress led to something else and eventually passed away. He didn't pass away when they had the argument, but what I'm trying to say here is that the more stress, the more negative talk over decades of a lifetime, over words that has been spoken. I can say this, I'm glorified, I can say this to say this, that I have come from a family that where there's been a lot of argument 20, 30, 40 years down the line. And people have deemed this thing normal. So if you do not get yourself out of it, and you don't actually separate yourself from this negative talk, it will take you down. I can go on and on about this, but the power of self-talk. And in this case, don't choose the negative self-talk, choose the positive one. This Olu again, nuggets of wisdom. I'm out.